Welcome into Real Deal Sports Talk. It's me, your boy, KP. We here to talk sports. We got a couple divisions to finish off in our predictions yet. We also have some other things to get to for sure today. It is August 26, 2017. This is Real Deal Sports Talk. Everybody doing today? Everybody having a good Saturday, end of the week. You had some college football games going on today. Of course, you have the big fight coming out tonight. I'm sure a bunch of you have bought into that and are getting the fight going. We'll talk about that a little bit on today's show. We'll talk a little bit about the Celtics-Cavs trade. Is it going to go through? Is the mega trade going to happen? The players involved. Whose team will be better off? The East definitely becomes more interesting if this trade goes through. Again, we'll hit on the Conor McGregor-Mayweather fight a little bit. We'll hit the scores and the headlines of the NFL preseason that have already taken place. And we have the last two divisions, the NFC and AFC North, to predict. We will also I will give my playoff predictions, my Super Bowl picks based on my heart and my head. Plus, we're going to get real a little bit at the end of the show. I can't have this platform and not use it based on what's going on in the country right now. So I will be using this platform to go ahead and just speak on some stuff at the end of the show and get real. But that's at the end of the show. Let's not worry about that right now. Let's start off with the Celtics-Cavaliers trade. This is a trade, when it broke, seemed very interesting. Seemed like it was going to be a very fun thing to watch. I was intrigued by it. I instantly thought, hey, both teams in this trade come off a little bit better. As crazy as that sounds, yes, I know Kyrie is considered to be the better player. He's got the dribbles like crazy. He can put up 50. I get all that. I think he's a better fit with what Boston's got. I think Isaiah Thomas is a better fit with Cleveland. With the deal, Thomas was going to be traded along with Jay Crowder, Brooklyn's 2018 number one pick, and the Celtics were going to get Kyrie Irving in return. Now, Adrian I can't say your last name, man. Wojnarowski. He's been the main guy to follow on all the news that's breaking with this situation, and he's on top of it with the Cavs basically going, you know what, we're still evaluating that hip. He had surgery on his hip. Isaiah Thomas did in the offseason. Where's that hip at? He came in for a physical. He's since then left. Cleveland apparently might still be weighing their options as to whether or not they want to move forward with the trade. So that's something we're very much going to have to wait and see. There's already other rumblings that Cousins and Wade might end up in Cleveland. What would that look like with Kevin Love and J.R. Smith and Tristan Thompson? With Isaiah Thomas and LeBron James, of course. And then what would the Celtics look like with Haywood and Horford and Brown and Tatum and Morris? And you throw in a Kyrie Irving. Those would be the top two teams in the East easily. And it would be fun to watch those two teams battle it out for at least this year. Because if Cleveland puts that team together, it's blowing up next offseason anyway. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that injury, how they evaluated him in the physical, and whether or not they're willing to move forward or if they're going to try and make Boston sweeten the pot somehow. So stay tuned to that situation if you're an NBA fan and or Celtics or Cavaliers diehard. Moving on, big fight tonight, right? Big fight. Whoa, get all the hype. This is Conor McGregor. This is Floyd Money Mayweather. 49-0. Oh my goodness. This couldn't be more ridiculous if the WWE was putting it on. If Vince McMahon was putting on this fight, I would not be surprised, okay? This is Muhammad Ali boxing a bear. This is Rocky fighting Thunder Lips and Rocky 3. All right? My head is in the situation of this fight is for the money. This fight is not a true match. It's not a true boxing match. It's not a true UFC fight. This is a money-making contest. It took so long for this fight to come through because they had to figure out how it was going to work for both parties at the end of tonight to not only get rich, but look good doing it. Now, here's my prediction. I'm going to put it out there right now. Here's how I think the fight goes down. I think the fight goes the distance. In the early rounds, the 49-0 will go down. I'm trying to channel my inner Ali here. It's not working, so I'm going to cut it out. I think you might see Mayweather fall or get a little dizzy early in the fight, round 1 or 2. I think it goes the distance. I think he puts on a clinic a little bit. I think it's a little bit of a boring fight. McGregor's going to rush forward most of the time. Floyd Money Mayweather, he's going to use the defense and he's going to dance out of the corners and he's going to circle around them and he's going to try and land a couple shots. At the end, it'll go to a decision. It'll go in Floyd Money Mayweather's direction. It'll be 2 judges to 1 or something. Won't be unanimous, okay? Both of them get paid. Both of them get rich. Like the people on the prognosticators and the different shows on TV have been saying, there's no fault to the UFC guy who doesn't beat arguably one of the best fighters of all time. But if one judge gives it to him and 2 judges decide the other way and it's based on the decision, oh, well, that's pretty much even. Both of them get paid. Both of them look good. Both of them can run their mouth afterwards. Conor can sit there and go, look what I did. I almost beat him. It went to a decision. I got him dizzy. I made his legs wobble, or hey, he might even knock him down once. And Floyd afterwards can say, I'm the best. I'm 50-0. That's how I see it going down. I think it's a hype fest. I think the talk of them flying around in the same private jet and yucking it up is true. I think these guys are friends. I think they're very smart business-wise. I think Dana White helped orchestrate this. And a whole bunch of promoters. I think that's why some boxing purists are upset about this fight. Okay? It's all understandable, but really, again, if Vince McMahon was the main promoter of this, I think everybody else would see it a little bit more the way me and some other people see it. But, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about who the winner is next Saturday. Maybe right before we get into the fantasy draft, as next Saturday's show is the live fantasy draft here on Real Deal Sports Talk. If you haven't gotten signed up for the league and you'd like to, go ahead and hit up the webpage. All the information is there at realdealsportstalkwithkp.com. Yes, it's a long title. Don't care. If you're interested, go check it out. If you're not, thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Don't play. That's just real talk. I mean, it's fantasy. If you ain't got time, you ain't got time. It's no big deal. Moving on. Let's get into some scores and headlines this week from the NFL so we can get into the end of our predictions here. All right, so far in Week 3, there haven't been a whole lot of games played in Week 3, but there have been 4 games played so far that have been final. The Eagles beat the Dolphins on Thursday, 38-31. The Panthers got past the Jaguars, 24-23. Christian McCaffrey again looked great in that game. Jacksonville's quarterbacks, they're going to have to pick somebody because Coughlin is not going to bring in Kaepernick. I don't care what the owner says if he's willing to. He also said he's going to leave it to his football people. His main football person is Tom Coughlin. Tom Coughlin's not going to bring in Kaepernick because guaranteed Tom Coughlin does not understand what the protest is about. But that's just not going to happen. They'll deal with their quarterback situation there in Jacksonville. And they'll either struggle this year or something will get figured out with the talent that they do have. All right, last night, the Patriots beat the Lions 30-28. What I took from that game is their ones made our ones R1s being Detroit. I'm a Lions fan, as you guys know. Look pitiful. R1s were better than their 2s. R2s, for the most part, competed harder than their 2s. That's basically how the game played out. They lose Julian Edelman last night. That's just, I hate seeing stuff like that. Good players, you expect them to be there for the season. He's down with the ACL. And surprisingly, Keon Ely, they release him today. I expect him, if he clears waivers, to probably end up in Detroit, honestly. And the Seahawks on Friday night get past the Chiefs 26-13. Now, there's a ton of games getting ready to kick off here, or have kicked off here for Saturday's games. You got Cardinals and Falcons, the Bills and Ravens, the Jets, Giants, Colts, Steelers, Browns, Bucks, Raiders, Cowboys, Chargers, Rams, Texans, Saints, and, of course, the Packers, Broncos. Finishing out the weekend, you'll have the Bears at the Titans on Sunday, Bengals and Redskins, and the 49ers, Vikings on Sunday night. That's pretty much where we're at with the scores in the preseason on Week 3. I have to say I would have liked to have seen a little bit better of performance out of the Lions at the beginning of that game when Brady and company were in. It shows we have a lot of work to do if we're going to be there at the end of the season. Headlines out there right now. Edelman, of course, he tears his ACL. He's out for the season. Bortles, right now, he's been named the starting quarterback. There's rumors out there that maybe he gets released if he fails this time as the starting quarterback. Keon Ely, like I mentioned, he's been released today by the Patriots. What else is out there? Oh, yeah, Spencer Ware, he goes down with a knee injury on the opening drive of the Chiefs Seahawks game, so there's another key injury from the preseason. That's kind of all the big headlines that are out there right now this week. So let's get into the last two divisions, the NFC and AFC North, the playoff predictions, my Super Bowl picks, and then we'll get real at the end of the show. All right, let's start off with the AFC North, okay? That's Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Baltimore. For those of you who don't know, I'm sure most of you do. So some of you are laughing right now like, KP, what are you talking about, man? We know who's in the AFC North. Some people might not, you know. I got listeners that have reached out to me through this platform from other countries, and it's pretty cool to have this ability. So I'm going to give out information and just be real about it. We're going to start off with Pittsburgh in the AFC North. I got Pittsburgh going 11-5 this season. They have weapons galore for Big Ben. They need to take advantage of this situation while they can. Everybody knows right now with Big Ben, it's 12 years in the league pretty much. What's his future going to hold? This year he made it seem like he might not come back. Next year's uncertain. He's talking about living for today. Le'Veon Bell, he's supposed to be returning September 1st, maybe, possibly going back and forth with the Steelers about that right now. I like but don't really love their defense. I mean, you look at their offense, though, offensive line is solid. You got Villanueva, Foster, Pouncey, DeCastro, and Gilbert. Not a lot of depth, but their starting offensive line is solid. Then you go to receiver. Okay, you know about Antonio Brown. You know about Martavius Bryant. He's coming back. They got a Sammy Coates. They bring back in a Darius Hayward-Bay. They have a Jesse James at tight end, a tall target. They have Ladarius Green when healthy. He's a great pass-catching target. You go in, Le'Veon Bell's back there at running back. They bring in a Niall Davis. They have the rookie James Conner, who I think will eventually surpass Niall Davis on the depth chart. Of course, you have Big Ben. You bring in the rocket scientist behind Landry Jones and Josh Dobbs. He's going to be able to spread the ball around quite a bit. It's an impressive offense. If they stay healthy, they're going to be tough to beat, just like New England's offense. Now, like I said about their defense, I like some of their pieces. I don't necessarily love a lot of their pieces on the defensive side. I like Hayward, okay? I like Hayward quite a bit, Cameron Hayward. Their nose tackle, Javon Hargrave, okay, he's solid, right? Linebackers, outside linebacker, Bud Dupree, prove something. Do something. Shazier, he's fast, but I need him to be tougher. He's a tackling machine with that speed, but I need him to be tougher. Then you're looking at Vince Williams. You're looking at James Harrison. You throw in T.J. Watt. He's been impressive. Let's see how that transitions to the regular season. The back end leaves a lot to be desired, honestly, for me. I try and find a guy on the back end. Even William Gay, he's been there a long time. He's now not a starter. Mike Mitchell, he's getting old. I'm trying, they got some guys on the back end, but as a group, they're really going to have to pull something off there in Pittsburgh defensively to help match that offense. And it might be the secret weapon of T.J. Watt. He might be the secret weapon for them this year. We'll have to see. Anyway, 11-5, offensive weapons galore, defense, some pieces. Let's go to Cleveland. We'll jump over to Cleveland. I'm gonna give Cleveland a few more wins than probably most people would expect this season. Okay, I got them going 4-12, 5-11. Yes, they're gonna be bad, but they're starting to build something there. They're shopping Osweiler, which no shock. Who knows? They might even release him. They do have some other options at quarterback. It looks like quite possibly Deshaun Kaiser, the rookie, they're gonna go ahead and just go with him. Let him have his growing pains. Let him make some plays. Let him make some mistakes. Let him learn from it and build with this kind of young team. That would put a Cody Kessler in a backup role who has some NFL experience, who can help the rookie at least prepare for games, not necessarily make him a better quarterback, because, honestly, it's Cody Kessler. What are they going to get out of a Kitty Britt, right? What will they get out of a guy who, as he came into the league, seemed like he had a lot of talent, and that kind of didn't come to fruition yet? Is Corey Coleman, the burner, going to stay healthy? I liked him coming out of Baylor. Rashard Higgins, he should be solid for him. At tight end, they bring in the rookie Njoku. I think eventually you're going to see him play more throughout the season, but they have Telfer to start. They have Crowell. They have Duke Johnson. They're running back to kind of get a little switch up there at the running back position. Defensively, they've gotten younger. You bring in a playmaker guy like Jabril Peppers. You bring over some of the rookie or free agents like a Jamie Collins. You bring in the rookie Myles Garrett, who should be able to do something this year, at least on the pass rush. Desmond Bryant and Danny Shelton still in the center as they develop. You got Agba on the other side. He should take a step forward hopefully this year. You still have Joe Hayden there at the corner position. And on the opposite side, Jamar Taylor. You bring in a Jason McCourty in free agency. He's going to add some leadership to that secondary. So is this team going to compete? Maybe not. But you look at their draft. They had a great draft. You look at the pieces that the Browns pulled in this year's draft, and you can see maybe their analytics teams, maybe this new regime they have there in Cleveland is looking to build for the future. You pick up a Myles Garrett, a Jabril Peppers, a David Njoku, a Deshaun Kaiser, okay? That's their first 4 picks, and that we're only into round 2. Then you build depth after that. You get a Roderick Johnson in the 5th round, the tackle out of Florida State. could be a nice little swing guy for you once he adjusts. You get a Caleb Brownlee who falls at the defensive tackle of Florida to the 6th round. Could have been, in my opinion, as high as a 4th or 5th round pick. Okay? I like their draft. I like the youth. I like the mix of the veterans they have going. So, 4-12, 5-11. They shock a couple teams. They don't lose as much as they did last year. But they're not going to compete. They're not going to push anybody. They're just going to catch a couple here and there because they do have some talent. Cincinnati's a team. They've had talent. I've picked them before. I've expected them to do things before. I'm not going to do that this year. They're an average team to me until they prove otherwise. So I got them going 9-7, maybe 10-6 if they're lucky. It's the same old Cincy. They have some talent, but again, will it produce? I need to see it produce to believe. It's a decent offensive line. Nobody really jumps out at you. You bring in the rookie John Ross, who's a burner. You have Brandon LaFell, who's kind of a big target. A.J. Green's a top 5 receiver in the NFL. You have a top 5 pass-catching tight end in Tyler Eifert. You have a running back field that's just full with Hill and Bernard, and you added Joe Mixon. You have Dalton. You have probably arguably one of the better backups in the league in McCarron. But put it together. Prove something. Right? Do something. You have all this talent. Mike Johnson, Carlos Dunlap. Get something together. Geno Atkins, can we get you back to domination? Can Billings next to Atkins be the force they need in the center? Linebackers, Kevin Minter's kind of old. Nick Vigil is unproven. Burfict, we know who he is. He's either going to be injured or suspended because his style of play. You got Kirkpatrick. You got Sean Williams. You got George Iacola or Iloka, sorry, can't say his name either. And you still got Adam Jones, who's getting old there. But behind him, Darqueze Dennard, he offers some young potential. But this is a team, again, will it produce? Or is it just going to be a team that's got some talent, some athletic guys that we can have expectations for that don't go anywhere? Until then, average team at best. Baltimore, to me, on paper, is an average team. You got Flacco recovering from this back injury. It was supposed to be a short-term recovery. You're now looking, I think, at somewhere around close to a month. The rookie last year, Stanley, he did good at tackle. You still got the guard, Marshall Yanda. Receiver, Jeremy Maclin, Perryman. Okay. They're going to make some plays here and there, but Macklin, to me, he's not an every down guy. He's not I'm going to try hard every down guy. I'm going to try hard on my play is when Jeremy Macklin tries hard. Perryman has been injured pretty much his entire time in the league. We know the history of the tight ends in Baltimore. Gilmore has been hurt. Benjamin Watson was hurt all of last year. Max Williams, we'll see if he gets some playing time. Mike Wallace on the other side, great. You're fast. You need to do more to get the title that everybody wants to give you. Their backup quarterback, Ryan Mallett, is garbage. And then at running back, you got Lorenzo Taliaferro, I can't say his name, Terrence West, and Danny Woodhead. Okay, there's some guys, average at best on offense. Let's look at the defense. All right, defensive end, you got Carl Davis. Nose tackle, Brendan Williams. Okay. And then Brent Urban. Okay. You got an aging Terrell Suggs at outside linebacker. C.J. Mosley, he's a beast. You got Camille Correa. Okay. You got Albert McClellan. Okay. I'm average at best at linebacker and defensive line as a whole. Then you go to their secondary. You got a Brandon Carr, aging. Eric Weddle, he's near the end of his career. You got Tony Jefferson, he's good, but near the end of his career again. And then on the other side, you got Jimmy Smith, who he's physical, he's got size, but he gives up a lot of big plays. Average at best on paper. Baltimore is going to have to come out and prove it this year. If Ryan Mallett ends up having to play extended time or Flacco comes back and gets injured again, this team's not going anywhere. So I could see this team going anywhere from 6-10. I'll give them 8-8 at best. At best. Pittsburgh wins the division. Moving on, NFC North. We're going to start off with my Detroit Lions. That's my team. I'm never going to not be a Lions fan. Don't question my loyalty. It is what it is. They are my team. Win, lose, draw, die, whatever, okay? My heart says this team can go 11-5. My head says they're not going to be really any better than they were last year. They're going to be a 9-7, maybe a 10-6 type team. And again, they're pretty much talent-wise right there where they were last year. Bob Quinn has been putting together a team kind of from scratch, it seems like, trying to fit it in the mold that he wants it to be, and he's getting these football players and these pieces. We don't quite have enough Pro Bowlers or Pro Bowl quality players or all pros on the roster to really do anything. I don't think we're going to get as many fourth quarter wins, but I don't think we're going to need to this year because we won't be shooting ourselves in the foot as many times. Stafford's deal, the Lions, they need to get that done. Flat out. That deal needs to get done. I don't know what the hang-up is or how far apart you are in money, but make it happen and get it done. And again, we got players. We got guys. We got a couple Pro Bowlers. Do we have any All-Pros? Maybe. I think Stafford has the ability to be an All-Pro. Where's our pass rush going to come from? Are we going to go after Coney Ely now that he's available? We need our left tackle, Taylor Decker, to get healthy and get back. I like Graham Glasgow, Swanson, TJ Lang, and Rick Wagner. I like the offensive line. They're going to meld. They're going to get better as the season goes on as long as they're healthy. I like Golden Tate. He's a great target, great hands, although he fumbled last night. TJ Jones is garbage. He needs to go ahead and leave the NFL and pursue whatever he went to school for. Our tight end group is stacked. I like Ebron. He's developing into what he is, a pass catcher. Shouldn't have been a first-round pick, but he's a pass catcher, and he's finally figuring that out. I like the addition of Darren Fells. He's going to be the blocking guy. Michael Roberts, he's learning. He's young, the rookie, but I like his ability as well. He's finding himself open. I don't know that the fourth tight end, Timothy Wright, makes the team, but he might just get picked up by somebody somewhere else. Jake Ruddick, he has solidified, in my opinion, his position as the second string quarterback, the backup to Stafford, but also could be trade bait because Kaya has played decent so far in the preseason. Galladay has been a nice surprise. He's going to be wide receiver 3. Marvin Jones Jr., his big deal is he needs to stay consistent. Aberderis, he's a competitor. We might keep him on the roster. He can play all the positions there at receiver 1, 2, and 3. Running back, Abdullah's looked, to me, good in this preseason. Theo Riddick got a couple plays in last night, but we all know what his game is. It is sweeps and pitches and catching the ball out of the backfield. He's not a true runner. Zach Zener and Dwayne Washington have been playing good offense, I think. Again, their defense, I don't know where the pass rush is going to come from. Ansah is going to be Ansah if healthy. Ashawn Robinson there in the middle is a beast. Nada, he's going to have some plays, but he's also going to give up some plays. We got a young linebacking core. Reeves Mabin has been impressive on special teams. Jared Davis, the rookie out of Florida, he's made some good plays. He's messed up quite a few times. And the second-year player, Antoine Williams, on the other side. Big play Slay, Tavon Wilson, Glover Quinn got his new deal. And then on the other side, we're going to have to see, right now it's Nevin Lawson starting on the other side. So, some guys. We got some talent, but nothing that's jumping off the page. Moving on, we got Green Bay 10-6. Aaron freaking Rodgers. Do I need to say anything else? The coach needs to stick to coaching because his political views do not represent the land of the free. That's how he feels about it. Period. That's all I got to say about Mike McCarthy. You might want to stick to coaching because you've also been blamed for the downfall of this Packers team. You got Aaron freaking Rodgers. You got a Jordy Nelson. You bring in a Martellus Bennett. You got Randall Cobb, who will give you some good games. You got a Devontae Adams, who will give you some good games. Brent Hundley, he's learning behind Aaron Rodgers. Ty Montgomery is going to be a nice little running back. Christian Michael, he's going to give him some reps if he stays healthy. You bring in a Ripkowski at fullback. Nobody on their defense really jumps off at you. Daniels, he's solid. Clark is solid. Perry had a good season last year. Clay Matthews is getting older. Devin House. Demarius Randall, Morgan Burnett, and HaHa Clinton-Dix. They have just enough on defense with a guy like Aaron Rodgers to go at least 10-6 in this division. Minnesota, they're going to be tough in this division. I got them going 8-8. I think they're going to cause problems for the teams in the division. I need to see it from them, though, for a full season. Last few years, they've gotten off to these good starts, and then they just disappear. So I can't put a lot of faith or a great record into a team that just disappears. And they've got some pieces. They've got some talent. Sam Bradford completed, 70% of his passes last year? Yes, I know most of them were like for 5 yards or something like that. Treadwell needs to have a better year than he did as a rookie. Adam Thielen, he's earned that spot across from Stephon Diggs. Kyle Rudolph, if he stays healthy, he's a blocking and pass-catching tight end that I really like. Delvin Cook is going to be a good, solid running back, followed by Bishop Shanky and McKinnon. Offensive line for them, I don't like Riley Reif. He spent time in Detroit. I know what he is. Mike Reimers is a cast-off. Maybe he gets motivated and has a better season. And their best offensive lineman, honestly, is Alex Boone, and they picked him up also in free agency. The defense is where I like more of their pieces. I like an Everson Griffin quite a bit. I like Linval Joseph. I like Eric Kendricks. I like Anthony Barr, Xavier Rhodes, Harrison Smith, and bringing over Trey Waynes. Hopefully he can flex his muscle a little bit more this season than he has so far in his career. But again, this team needs to do it for a little bit more than just part of the season. I got them 8-8. Chicago, I got them going 4-12. They look pitiful. They look miserable. Trubisky probably should just go ahead and let the kid start. He's at least got the gumption and the balls to just go out there and play. Glennon was a bad signing, in my opinion. I know they can get rid of him after this year, and most likely they're going to. Sanchez should be their backup for this year. And the key words in what I just said were this year. Howard needs to be the man for this team, okay? Justin Howard needs to be the man for this offense this year. Because you look at what else they have on offense. Okay, decent offensive line. They're gonna, mix it up with you. Kyle Long's willing to fight. Sitton's willing to fight. You got Meredith on the outside. He'll make some plays here and there. Zach Miller will make some plays here and there at tight end. Kevin White, can you stay healthy? Victor Cruz, okay, you might offer something, maybe. And it's going to have to come from this run game. Jordan Howard, Jeremy Langford, and Kadeem Carey need to carry this Chicago Bears team, period. On defense, nobody's going to be scared of this defense. Their best defensive lineman, Eric Goldman. Mitch Unrein was a backup everywhere else. He's starting for this team. Leonard Floyd comes over from Pittsburgh. They keep their good linebackers. They don't let them leave. Danny Trevathan is now 2 steps slower than he was when he was good in Denver. Darrell Freeman they bring over. Yes, he's a tackling machine, but again, getting older. Willie Young's not getting any younger. You go through their secondary, Marcus Cooper, Quentin Dips, Adrian Amos, and Prince Amukamura. They're, 4-12. Winner of the division, my heart has Detroit. My head says Green Bay will win it again. All right, let's get into the playoffs. AFC, here are how I have the 6 teams seeded. Number 1, New England. 2, Pittsburgh. 3, the Raiders. 4, the Titans. 5, the Broncos. And 6, the Houston Texans. On the NFC side, I have the number 1 seed being Arizona. Number 2, the Giants. 3, Green Bay. 4, Tampa Bay. 5, Seattle. And 6, Dallas. Now again, with my heart, Detroit gets in the playoffs. With my head, those are who I predict to make the playoffs. So in your wild card in the AFC, you have the Raiders taking on the Texans, the Titans taking on Denver. In the NFC, you have Green Bay taking on Dallas and Tampa Bay taking on Seattle, the way I see things playing out. Moving on to the divisional rounds, you will see in the way I see it playing out, the Patriots will take on Houston as they get past Oakland, and Pittsburgh will take on Denver as Denver's defense will carry them past the young Titans offense and Marcus Mariota. On the NFC side, Arizona will take on Green Bay as Aaron Rodgers will be a thorn in the side of that Dallas Cowboys defense and ultimately make the play that wins the game. And the Giants will take on Seattle as they will get past, with their defensive prowess, that Tampa Bay offense that they have going down there. Moving on to Championship Sunday, New England will get past Houston to take on Denver in the AFC Championship as Denver's no-fly zone will get revenge against Pittsburgh's receiving core. And on the NFC side, Championship Sunday, I have Green Bay getting past Arizona. Again, Aaron Rodgers, Hail Mary to get Green Bay into the NFC Championship game, and Seattle's defense causing too many problems for Eli and the Giants, with Green Bay taking on Seattle in the NFC Championship game. Super Bowl 52, I have Denver facing Green Bay, as Denver's defense has always caused problems for Belichick and Tom Brady throughout the era, where they do have, I think, a winning record there up in New England. It is not a winning record overall versus Denver. Denver causes them problems. I see that being the difference in that game, especially late, especially without a Julian Edelman. Denver moves on to the Super Bowl. Green Bay, again, Aaron freaking Rodgers. He exacts and takes revenge on the Seattle team that has beaten him one too many times in the playoffs, and he moves on to take on Denver in the Super Bowl. Now, with that being said, my heart, Detroit not only makes it to the playoffs, they get to the Super Bowl and will beat anyone who makes it from the AFC. This is what I'm going to root for to happen this year. However, again, the predictions I just gave you, I will stand by them, and that's how I think it could play out for this NFL season. Anything could happen. That's why we play the games. That's why I will be doing a weekly show to speak to you. It's all love. It's all good. And what can you say? I know you got your predictions. I got mine. If you want to get at me, tell me how wrong I am, check us out on Facebook. Go ahead and message me. Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. Get at us on Twitter, at Real Deal KVP. Okay? Come get some. We'll get you on air. We'll get your opinions heard. That's what it's all about here on Real Deal Sports Talk. Now, it is time to get real. I'm a white guy. I've grown up white. I can't imagine what it's like to grow up with the institutionalized racism that is rampant in this country. I'm against the KKK, the alt-right, white supremacist, racism, and the current focus of this country's leadership. Okay? It is divisive. It's not about the land of the free, but the land of what I think. And you know what? This is not a new problem, America. This is not a new problem, listeners. This is a problem that we have had in this country since the day it started. It's as old as this country is. It is time to take out the trash and for intelligence, not fear, to lead the way. We need to see more people standing up to support people like Colin Kaepernick, who has not only demonstrated what his belief is or what he feels is right, but he is putting his money where his mouth is, donating over $800,000 so far. It's nice that other players, and I'm not going to name off all the other players or the teams that have had different demonstrations, because it shouldn't just be an NFL issue. It's nice that there have been some white players to step up. I appreciate that. I want to see all of the sports stars kneel or show some signs of support or some sign that they understand right versus wrong, and it's about people in this country. I want the music guy not to press play for the national anthem if that's what needs to happen to wake people up. Let's see the military join in. Let's see all people join in. And there needs to be more than that. That's scratching the surface. That's talking to your friends on social media. It needs to be more. We need to open a dialogue and move this forward. It's more than about the anthem and sports. This is humanity. This is a battle versus greed, money, and power. It's up to us as a people to be smart enough to live together and not intentionally try to harm others for stupid reasons. To be clear, the system is broken. Law enforcement has become corrupt. Those in it who choose to do nothing are just as guilty. And I hear the stories from the good cops, I'm doing the quotation marks right now, that say, I can't speak up. I'm not going to get the promotion. I'm not going to get the hours. I'm going to get fired. I'm going to get bullied. Maybe if more of those good cops stood up together, maybe they wouldn't be fired or overlooked. Maybe the system wouldn't have broke. Because right now we have too much ego and fear in that system. I understand there might be good individuals that are nice people that are trying to do their best. We're not condemning all of the people. We are condemning the actions of the system and how they are treating the people they are supposed to serve and protect. Killing people and animals because you have a badge to protect you, because you probably were going to get away with it, because you're not, trained properly, because you have to become a psychologist and all these other things in 6 months. Change the system. Fix the system. Stop giving excuses for wrong behavior. They are not a Gestapo. They should not have a gang mentality. And unfortunately, all this is going to do is lead to more civil unrest and more people pushing back. They're not going to take it for long. And I, for one, I don't blame them. I don't have the solutions, everybody, but I know the difference between right and wrong. I know that hate is rooted in fear. Intelligence needs to take over. We need to come together. We need to take out the trash. That's Real Deal Sports Talk, August 26th. Until next time, you know how we do. Be real.